How's it going, Nate? Welcome back to the Great Green North. Welcome to my story time video. First of all, temperatures are cold. We're really freaking cold. We're sitting at a high of -1 today, I believe. So as temperatures get cold, there's a couple things to taking care of. One, your lawn is sadly gone to bed by now. It's all dormant. So make sure to stay off your lawn. Any major frost, if the lawn is crunchy or feels a little bit crusty to the touch or looks kind of white, not by snow, by frost, then please stay off the lawn if you want to kind of preserve your lawn, or else you're going to cause some major frost damage. Majorly keep the machines off the lawn, cars off the lawn, lawn mowers, anything that's kind of majorly heavy, going to cause some major damage to the lawn. So without further ado, let's get into the story time video. Let me tell you what happened on Sunday. Okay, so all day Saturday, we were getting warnings here about what they were calling a major, wind. Basically, they were calling it a windstorm that was supposed to come through here. There was supposed to be quite a bit of rain, about an inch, but that was all going to be received overnight. And then mid to late afternoon, they were quite concerned about high winds. Now at that point, they said sustained winds of 50 miles per hour, gusting up to maybe 80. But as the night progressed, there was a lot of different shifts. There was one that said sustained winds of 60, gusting up to 110. Some people were saying sustained winds of 50, gusting up to 60. So there was a lot of different kind of mixed reports on what was going to happen. It was basically converging jet streams coming over the southern Ontario area, and it was going to cause quite a bit of storm. So anyways, you know, the simple decisions you make when there's a windstorm. I went out and checked to make sure the deer were nailed in the ground. You know, we had no plans to leave the house that day because obviously, you know, stay safe. That was pretty much it. Went to bed, didn't really expect anything major the next day. So on Sunday I woke up and it had obviously rained the night before, and it was quite what I would call a windy day. It was pretty windy, but not like anything major anything like huge. We were seeing some big gusts, but not really a ton of things. So I went downstairs and the normal kind of video editing that I do on a Sunday, and the only really way I can describe what I saw looking out the little window downstairs, it was a blizzard. It looked like what was a blizzard. The wind was insane, but there was no snow. So all of the things in the air were leaves and twigs, and the trees were almost bent over sideways, and I mean my immediate reaction was holy shit. So I got up and started to walk upstairs, and then I heard what sounded like a crack of thunder. So I figured, oh, okay, here comes the thunderstorm, better be careful. I thought it was kind of weird. It seemed a little bit cold for a thunderstorm. And then next thing you know, I heard a major crack. And then about halfway up the stairs, I heard probably the loudest bang I've ever heard in my life. And that is when a major limb cracked off one of the trees in the backyard and landed on the corner of our house. So luckily everybody was okay. We immediately grabbed the dog and got everybody downstairs until the wind subsided. The wind subsided in maybe a minute or two. This major gust only seemed to last 10-15 minutes at most. We were kind of comparing it to a micro tornado. Now I've never experienced a tornado in my life, but kind of a micro tornado or a micro burst. But we're not really exactly sure what it was, but it seemed most places it came through. It was short-lived, but it was strong. Now at the time of recording this storytelling, we were not completely sure on exactly what had happened that day. We were thinking about the fact that it could be a microburst, but didn't really make much sense because there wasn't a lot of thunderstorms or built up pressure in the sky, and a lot of people said that they saw swirling, including my family and my neighbors, and none of us had ever experienced anything like this. We live in southern Ontario. We don't get tornadoes here, especially in November. We normally have snow. And about a week after, while we were cleaning up brush from this storm, I got texted from one of my neighbors, and the Western Institution for Tornado Studies is what I believe, looked at the damage pattern and did conclude that it was an EF1 tornado that struck our town and a couple one town over. It lasted for about 3 or 4 kilometers, I think they said, and it kind of winded up close to our house and back down. Our neighborhood is relatively unscathed compared to some of the neighborhoods that this tornado went straight through. So we do know now that it was a tornado. We were hit by a tornado that day. What we could see from inside was the tree had definitely pulled the soffit off the roof, and had definitely cracked some of the bricks in the corner. So that was our immediate thought. Going up in the attic, we could start to see that the hole was definitely much worse. Probably about 6 feet wide by about 3 feet tall. So for those of you who know about housing, pretty much all the ice and water shield on the roof height and kind of around the corner. We could definitely see the tree branch lying on the deck and the yard. The new patio table that we built, was right here, was broken. Kind of crushed that whole box we had there, and the Rosa Sharons around the deck were pretty toast, as far as we could instantly tell. Then efforts immediately led to getting the tarp on the roof, and we got it on the roof in about an hour and a half, thanks to some amazing help from our neighbors. So that, I thank all of them very much for coming out and helping. And we made sure everybody around us was okay, everybody in the house was okay. Thank God. And we weren't the worst hit in our town. There's a house up the road a little bit where unfortunately the tree did come through the roof, and we have been told was touching the floor inside the house. So they've been out of their house for a couple days now. But what I'm going to show you here is a couple days later. Today is now Wednesday. It has been a hell of a couple days cleaning up. So the tree was finally removed today, and the roof was kind of temporarily fixed. We're heading into winter. We're probably going to be seeing a decent amount of snowfalls in a week or two. So we can't just tarp the roof. We need something stronger to take the snow load. And that first bang was a tree branch that came down in the front yard, a pretty major tree branch. So hopefully there is no major removal needed for the rest of the trees. We're hoping there might be a couple branches that need to be taken out of the tree that this limb came out of. But without further ado, let me show you the damage. Thank you guys for kind of watching. I figured this would be an interesting video. Although, I mean, it's definitely been an interesting week, been an interesting experience. But I wouldn't wish it on anybody. So, without further ado, let me show you what has happened since then. Okay, so I tried to get out here yesterday. I might add some of the clips that I did when I got out here yesterday, but I'm finally out today, and we still got some daylight. It was too dark when I tried to get out yesterday. So coming around here, this is all of the wood that has come out of the trees. So this is just the two major branches is all this pile here. We have to move some stuff off of our wood pile over here so we can actually get some wood, because this is not dry. I mean, as a person who likes carpentry, this is a little bit of a, oh, what can I build out of this? But I mean, it is very sad that we've had a storm whip through here like this. All this is just kind of twigs, either cut off branches, picked up off the deck or the lawn, and then spinning around in the front here. I can show you where the first branch came down. So the initial one right out of the tree up there was probably, I would consider, the third major limb on this tree. And it came down this way, landed on the lawn here. You can still kind of see the indents over here, and it took those two branches off this tree, and it was pitched, it was leaning right up on here. You couldn't even see the deer. I'll show you a couple of pictures. You couldn't even see the deer from here. Good thing is the deer themselves did not move an inch, so that's awesome. Wreaths were blown off. The wreath on the sign there was out in the middle of the road. That was pretty much the extent of the front yard. We ended up parking over here, stay away from the rest of the trees after the wind subsided. Coming up the side yard here, not a ton originally apparent. There was quite a few sticks and stuff on this side yard, and it has been trampled, and as you can see, the sawdust building up here as I show you the major snap. So this, I would probably compare to that main stem. That's how big that limb was, and that limb came out of that tree and hit right here. So it smacked that corner of the house pretty much dead on, and then it kind of rolled off onto the lawn here. So that is how huge that was. Two branches, two major branches, maybe at least 40 feet tall at least. And here in the lawn is the major hit point. So this is where the branch hit after breaking off. It fell and hit right there, and it laid right here, sprawling out. It was about halfway up the deck, pretty much all the way over. As you can see over here, I'll show you guys a time lapse as we're running. This is what we've currently still have left. Other than that big pile, this is what we managed to kind of clean up on the first couple days. Obviously, this stuff is gonna have to be burned. And here's what the state of our deck sits at. So very unfortunate. These Rosa Sharons we loved. They provided great privacy for the deck, beautiful flowers. They're getting close to their end of their lifespan, so we don't really know what we're gonna do with this one and this one that has damage and that one that has damage. I can tell you right now, the Christmas lights are not gonna be on them this year. We threw out those Christmas lights. They were destroyed. But pretty much this one is the only one that's unscathed. So I'm assuming we'll probably keep some of them, at least for the time being, maybe plant new ones in between or something. But this one is going to be a major loss. We're going to see that this year. This one was quite big, up kind of close to the height of the roof, hung over the deck. That was probably the biggest one we had. So that's going to be unfortunate, losing this one. Some of the branches still were intact. Rosa Sharons are actually very pliable, but I mean, we weren't expecting anything to live. That Rosa Sharon is definitely coming out. I don't think we'll see any life on that one, and even if we would, they're at the virtual end of the life. This one has actually been pushed that way by the wind. It was already leaning, and I think the branch hitting it and everything helped push a little bit more. The deck fared very well. The table took all the brunt pretty much, snapped the legs off. As you can see, the chairs over there, we have a little bit of stuff on them. We've learned now to put the table over there away from the branches just in case anything comes down. The umbrella fared awesome. We had a little bit of a rip in the protective cover, but other than that, umbrella was awesome. And then, yeah, as you can see, pretty much this whole corner all the way back to here is gone off the side of the house. They're gonna have to redo trusses and rafters. It's going to be a major job, but at least now it's kind of wrapped for the winter. There's something up there to support it. As you can see, littered all over the lawn is, I mean, this isn't even as bad as it was. Littered all over the lawn was pieces of roof, shingles, insulation, bricks, pretty much anything you could name everywhere. And then I mean, them removing the other bricks today hasn't helped. And then this U was the final one that took a casualty. Honestly, not as bad as we expected. There is a branch in there that we're gonna have to cut off. It's this one down here. This is dead. But you know, if you look at things, you know, right side up, we weren't a very big fan of these U's anyways. They're kind of silly, but we were living with them. They were getting close to the end of the lifespan as well, so we're not going to see much more years out of them. So this gives us an opportunity to maybe in the future, maybe in the nearer future, now that we've received a lot of damage here, to replace these U's. This was a new Rosa Sharon, because there was one here a couple years ago that had died. Because Rosa Sharons, for those of you who don't know, they're actually a little bit too far north to be planted up here in Canada. Well, they're not too far north. They're just a little bit out of their zone, so they don't deal well at all with cold. But that one suffered more damage than we initially expected. And on the bright side with these two, these were a little bit too close to the deck. They were definitely overgrown near the end of their lifespan. We were going to replace them with more Rosa Sharons anyways, but I mean, now this tree falling has given us kind of the opportunity to have to bite the bullet and finally replace them. We've talked many times about how we were going to go about replacing them, because you know, we don't just want to basically cut them down, but I mean, the tree branch did that for us now, so that gave us a trajectory of where to go. As you can see, sawdust on the lawn right now. That's because they just came and trimmed the tree a couple hours ago. I'm gonna try to clean it up before the winter so it doesn't smother out anything, and we're definitely gonna get these piles off the lawn before the winter sustains. Overall, guys, that's it for the major damage, and that may seem a lot to you, but in the end, the fact that everybody's okay and the fact that two major branches was all we got, that's actually really good. We've seen during the ice storm, we had tons of stuff. So as you can see, other than that, just kind of stuff littered on the lawn. I actually haven't been back here at all since the storm. Looks like we got another big branch up there, but that one was actually came down in another windstorm we have and was actually wedged up in that tree. I think I showed you that earlier. So the wind took that down for us, so we don't have to hire somebody to take that down anymore. But yeah, as you can see from afar here, we'll get a little bit of a zoom in going. That's pretty much it. That's what I was hinting at in the Christmas light video, which I think you guys probably saw only a few days ago. I wanted to get this video out as soon as possible to kind of tell you, but other than that, as you can see, little trees like this fared pretty fine as long as you were flexible. As I said, the winds came through here so strong that, you know, evergreens were sitting on a 90-degree angle, like bent over like that, but everything sprang back. As I said, it wasn't a prolonged period of wind. It was short-lived, and in the end it cleaned some of the extra leaves that were sitting on the lawn off, which is nice. Overall, kind of walking up down in this yard, I thought there was a lot more than there actually was. Our tall grasses fared perfectly fine. Some of you are probably yelling at me right now. Yes, you can cut these back late fall. This is what I would probably deem late fall. If anything, it's a little bit too late. Same with the irises, but we like to leave them a little bit of winter interest, thing someone to look at during the winter time instead of just taking them back down to the ground. Same thing with cornflowers. We'll take them down early spring, early around March or April. Down over here, the burlap that we had put up actually did not. As you can see, a couple of the poles are bending that way. We weren't really worried about that. We'll probably come and fix. But the only one that's actually kind of leaning that way is the one where this is a hornbeam tree, is because obviously the emerald cedars broke the wind. These emerald cedars are only a year old. They've grown quite a bit, and they broke the wind enough to save it, so thought about that. Anyways, guys, that's pretty much it for the damage. Yeah, you know, things happen. It's definitely kept us busy, so thank you guys for watching this episode of the Great Korean North. I hope you guys are all safe. For those of you in southern Ontario, I wish you luck cleaning up your damage from the windstorm. And I know there's a lot of people sitting in worse situations than we are with this windstorm. I mean, this windstorm, as far as we can tell, it seemed to hit our region the worst out of most. Most of the regions around us seem to be kind of sheltered. But, you know, it doesn't help that during pandemic things like this have happened. But, you know, things happen. Nothing you can do about it. So, thank you guys for tuning into this episode. I hope you guys are having a good day and, you know, getting away to hopefully find some time to get out in the lawn before the snow flies. And even when the snow flies, you can still get out and shovel whenever the snow flies. So, in the Great Korean North, my name's Wade Murray. If I don't see you guys again until after Christmas, have a great Merry Christmas. I think I will. We're probably going to do the lights on the eaves trough. So, it'll probably be, hopefully, at least one more video before Christmas. But if I don't see you guys, have a great Christmas and keep it green. I might make an update video. I don't know. I mean, I don't really know how much of this you guys want to watch. I don't really know how much of this I'm gonna film, but I hope you guys. I figured I would at least show you the damage, because obviously in the last video you guys didn't get to see what the Christmas lights in the backyard look like. We only got to look at them for three days. They were on for 3 days, and then this happened. So thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, share it with your family, share it with your friends. Trying to grow the channel to up to 100 subs before the end of the year. We're pretty close, 78. You guys are doing a great job. Thank you guys for everything you do. And in the Great Korean North, my name is Whit Murray. Keep it green.